During my junior year of high school, I'd been seeing this girl named Sadie on and off for like a couple weeks. It was nothing serious, just a whole lot of making out and mashing faces together. It's pretty nice. Well, I had just gotten my license and I wanted to take my girl out for a ride. Unfortunately for me, my piece of junk car was in the shop, so I had to convince my mom to let me borrow her brand new station wagon. I took Sadie to what I thought was a pretty romantic and secluded spot, on top of a parking garage overlooking the city. Earlier that day, my buddy gave me this book of the 350 best sexual positions. Well, being the suave guy that I am, I whipped out the book and me and Sadie started talking about which positions we want to try. So we eventually started going at it. And it's a station wagon, so yeah, I could have put the seats down and we would have had plenty of room to mess around, but she's like a foot taller than me, so I ended up having to kneel on the floor in front of the passenger seat, and then we got down to business. So we're doing it missionary style, right? She's got her feet pressed up against the windshield. I'm feeling great. You know, I'm pumping away in all my glory. I'm high-fiving myself. I feel like the man. This goes on for a little while, and eventually we finish up, and I pop out of the car real quick, do some sex stretches, send my buddy some text messages, totally boned Sadie, smiley face. Then we cleaned up and headed back to my house. Now, we must have been in some sort of sex-induced haze because when I pulled into the driveway, we suddenly noticed this massive crack in the passenger side of the windshield. I mean, there was like pieces of glass falling on the dashboard. So we get out of the car and my parents are standing right there. I quickly thought of an excuse and I was like, Dad, don't be mad, but on the drive home, we hit a pothole and it somehow cracked the windshield. But don't worry, me and Sadie are okay. I know that's the most important thing. My dad was not happy. As we walked over to inspect the damage, I started giving him this half-assed spiel about how the force from the pothole must have sent all the pressure through the frame of the car and started to crack the windshield. I thought he might actually buy it, but then he stuck his head in the car and pointed out the 2 footprints on the windshield. I thought I was a dead man, but all he said was, I'm not gonna tell your mom, but you might want to zip up your fly. Your underwear's hanging out. The next day, I wake up to find my sex position book next to my bed with a note on it from my mom. Honey, you left this in the car and I thought you might need it. Love, Mom. Hugs and kisses. My dad ended up taking care of the replacement windshield, and nothing was ever spoken of the incident ever again. Dating. It's complicated. Very complicated.